Hey guys, it's Disco Spider, and the 1967 Jungle Book movie is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I loved animation as a kid. But when I found out that Disney wanted to remake the Jungle Book in a dark and gritty way, I was not excited. In fact, I don't really understand Disney remakes, because, I mean, they already have made a perfect Jungle Book movie. Why would you want to redo it? I'd understand if it was like 20th Century Fox or DreamWorks who wanted to do a dark and gritty Jungle Book, since they haven't perfected the art of the Jungle Book yet. But Disney, however, making Cinderella, 2 Alice in Wonderland movies, I just don't understand why they just don't release the Jungle Book on the big screen, maybe in 3D or even regular 3D. I would have loved to see this movie back in the big screen. But because I am such a giant fan of the original Jungle Book movie, I kinda had to see this one. But, I mean, it was a little better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a giant crap of a movie, but it did have some good things about the movie. I love the visuals of this movie. The CGI looked amazing. It felt like, they actually used real cinematography and real animals, because it looked so real. In fact, Shere Khan, there's like 1 or 2 jump scares with Shere Khan that was really cool, and I actually kind of got startled. And I remember there's one scene where like they threw a stick or something up in the air, and then it like landed, and I flinched because it just looked so real and so cool. But that's probably the only good thing I can say about the movie, is that the visuals looked great. Okay, so first off, I guess, the movie is really unclear if it wanted to be like the original Disney movie or the original book, because these things are just so completely different, and they try to be like both, although it is more like the original movie, yet it does have a few things from the book, which I haven't finished reading yet, so yeah, I'm not that big of an expert of this, but it does talk about the law of the jungle in the movie, yet they don't explain most of the law of the jungle, like why some animals can talk to some, but other animals like the monkeys couldn't talk, like, although King Louie can talk, except the other monkeys can't, which they don't explain that. It's just really confusing. I know in the movie, all the animals can talk, and even if there were some laws of the jungles, they did not acknowledge that there were laws, so I mean, that's okay. But it's just really still confusing. And the characters aren't really that great. It seems like almost all of them are just trying to do impressions of the ones from the original Disney movie. Except for King Louie, played by Christopher Walken, which he did, the character isn't the same as, Louis Prima's character from the original movie. And he is probably a great character, except it is really weird that randomly in the movie he starts singing, which there are like 2 songs in this movie from the original cartoon, but they don't make any sense. They just come out of random. It's so weird, especially the I Want to Be Like You song. Just like randomly he starts singing it, and it's just really weird. He's supposed to be an intimidating character. He's so large and stuff, but then he sings this kind of funky jazz Louis Prima type song, and he just doesn't seem threatening anymore. He's just silly. And then there's The Bare Necessities, which I'll talk about why that song does not work. And then there's Shere Khan, which he doesn't really have a motive, or he does have a motive, but they don't explain it. I mean, in the original cartoon, his motive was just he wanted him dead because he hates man and stuff. And then we hear, like, everyone talking about Shere Khan being, he's so evil, he's so that. But in this one, we kind of get that. They do mention Shere Khan, but we don't really understand why he hates Mowgli. I don't even think they explained why he hates man, or if he hates man at all. And, I mean, like, Shere Khan is such a villainous villain in the cartoon. He's just, the original cartoon, it's probably because of the actor. His voice is so menacing, but, just him and the way he talks, the way he says stuff, the way the character is just so villainous. But this one, it's kind of And then Khan in this movie does absolutely nothing. I guess he does the backstory of Mowgli, which I don't understand the backstory, because apparently Shere Khan killed his father, and then he didn't kill Mowgli because he didn't see Mowgli there, except at the very end of the movie, Shere Khan tells him, like, oh, I'm the one who killed your father, even though he's not supposed to know that it's his father since he didn't see Mowgli there. And if he did see Mowgli there, why didn't he kill him? I don't understand it. And Kaa, he's just useless. She's just useless. And like the Powerpuff Girls reboot, this does not explain that much from the original movie. It seems like you had to have existing knowledge, which I really hate reboots that do that. They don't explain how Mowgli was found. In fact, apparently he was like a little kid. I know he's supposed to be like an infant there, and but in this one, he gets found when he was like 3-ish. He could walk. He's not in a basket or anything. But they don't really show him like how he showed up to the man village and how the wolves took him in and stuff. And they don't explain why they took him in. They don't explain why it's the law of the jungle, why he's allowed to stay, even though there is a rule that they didn't bring up, but is pretty important that man is not allowed to be in the jungle, and that is the reason why Shere Khan wanted Mowgli dead in the book, and that could have been useful to know why Shere Khan thinks it's bad, but yeah, it's really stupid, and they just don't explain this stuff, which I know there's a lot of people who haven't seen the Jungle Book. They haven't read the book, and they haven't even seen the original. And heck, even if you have, I know people that don't even remember it, so they make them confused. And the reason why I just love the original Disney movie is the relationship development between these characters. All these characters, or Baloo, Mowgli, and Bagheera, they go through a lot in this movie, through like relationship-wise. How Bagheera saves Mowgli from Kaa, how Mowgli and Baloo start a friendship by him showing him all the things that he does as a bear and all these really cool things while singing a song, and then Bagheera and Baloo saving Mowgli from King Louie, and they go through all these things, and then right when they're all friends and Mowgli and Baloo are like besties, I guess, then Baloo kind of realized that he has to let Mowgli go for the better of him, and that's like a big thing for him, since he's pretty relaxed and chill, but he does love Mowgli, so he does want him to have a better life and doesn't want Shere Khan to kill him, so he tells him to leave the jungle, and that gets Mowgli all mad and stuff, and it's just a pretty powerful scene there. But in this movie, we get two of those, and both of those scenes are not powerful. I mean, the relationship between of Mowgli and Baloo isn't really great. I mean, Baloo saves him from Kaa, which is supposed to be Bagheera, but it's a movie, different movie. But then Baloo asks for a favor from Mowgli, which is kind of dickish of him, but I'm gonna let it slide. And then after he does the deed, they're friends, which I guess makes sense. I mean, like, I guess I'll accept it, but it's not that big of friendship they made in the original book, or in the original movie. And then they start singing the bare necessities, which okay. I mean, like, it's not as bad as when King Louie say, I want to be like you, but it's still, like, it does not really work, because it's supposed to be more like, oh, I want to show you how, me as a bear, how we do things, and that kind of starts the relationship between those two. But I guess it's an adaptation. They're trying to do something different, at least. And then, randomly, Baloo decides that he wants Mowgli to go back to the village, even though he wanted him to stay here, but for some reason he's like, okay, I guess I'll tell him to leave, which we don't understand why. Bagheera doesn't really talk to Baloo that much and tells him all that stuff, and they weren't really that great of friends to begin with. And then so he storms off, and then there's the monkey scene with King Louie, and then after that scene, they do the same bullshit again with how Mowgli is mad at those two and runs off, and I know those scenes are supposed to be powerful because, Mowgli has to be alone so Shere Khan could go up against him for like one-on-one, and then the other people come. But it's just not powerful, and just the development between these characters, they don't go through a lot of development, and I just don't care about the relationship. I don't care about the characters, and I just don't care for this movie at all. I guess I would understand Disney live-action remakes if they took the movie but did something different to tell their own interpretation of the story. But they don't. I haven't seen the new Cinderella movie, but I heard it's pretty much the exact same as the Disney movie. And this Jungle Book movie, although it does a few different things here and there and everywhere, it still feels like the original Disney book. Like they're trying to replicate the magic of the original Disney movie, which doesn't make any sense. Just do your own thing. Do a completely different story, or you do the same story except do the opposite of the movie. I know how this movie's supposed to be a little darker, but they could have made it even more darker, except not like gritty like Batman v Superman. But it's still kind of stupid why they want to make live action remakes when they're just pretty much doing the exact same movie again. But I guess I'll talk about my opinions on reboots another day. And yeah, I really do think this movie is bad. I would understand if you like this movie. I mean, it's not a complete mess of a movie. But I just still hate this movie a lot. And for some reason, this movie has like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's around 90 from what I remember seeing, which makes no sense. I mean, like, I'd understand if it was around like 70, 80-ish. Because it's not that bad, or I mean, like, I think it's that bad, but I would understand why people would like this movie, but it still doesn't deserve a 90%, but that's just me, that's just my opinions. Yeah, I don't want to get into opinions. So yeah, that's how I feel about the new Jungle Book movie. Yeah, so let me know what you think of the movie, if you liked it, if you hate it, if you don't care whatsoever from the movie. I'm not excited for the new Disney live-action reboots. I know there's Winnie the Pooh, Mulan, Pete's Dragon, another Alice in Wonderland, and Beauty and the Beast. And none of those movies, except for maybe Pete's Dragon, since I've never actually seen that movie before, I am not excited for. But I probably will go see those movies. Not the Alice in Wonderland one, because I don't want to see that. But I might see Beauty and the Beast, Pete's Dragons, maybe, and Winnie the Pooh, Mulan. I might see them, and I might review them, probably not. But still, if you want, I will. Or if you don't care, then say nothing, which is most of my subscribers. But, yeah. So, yeah. I'm Disco Spider, and peace out.